All right. Look at that. Floating icons. Somehow, I think you still owe me a
I
version of this
do.
that
I do
has,
owe a slight update to this. Yes.
yes, very exciting update that makes this much more personalized and, um, dare I say, amazing. Maybe I can get you to work on that over the holiday break,
Yeah, I really wouldn't take long to do. I just need to
and I'll throw the music on it
pull up the
for
files and
the debut
add
of
those couple.
maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's up, everyone?
It'd be cool if I don't think they allow this. If they maybe they do actually, we could have a background um that is a movie. Is that possible?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. It would be really awesome to be able to uh, do something like that
I
for a
think
moving background. If it does, I will make it a nice loop so we can do
a bit,
that.
yeah. So it doesn't stutter in the middle
Hmm.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, I'm I'm looking. It might be able to. I'll check and see.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna check right now. You entertain
You
everybody
check.
while
You
I
just do that.
show them what's going on behind you there.
Oh, all right. So, for the holidays, I was really hoping that it had a demo, but I've got the holiday lemmings with the kind of Christmas themed episodes happening over here on the Keyline MacBook, and then I have there's this really cute Christmas themed HyperCard stack that I found many years ago, and you just if you click on things, it plays stuff. So
Click on things and it plays
you
stuff.
click on things and it plays stuff. It's the future, people. It's the future. So that is what's happening behind me. Oh, I had very good success fixing two of the 800K floppies. That was nice. The gears that I got off of
Mm-hmm.
Thingiverse or Shapeways, sorry, fantastic. Worked so nicely.
Turns out you can't
You
put a movie in
can't.
the background. It should be able to. I mean,
Right.
yeah. They should be able to make that happen. Oh well.
What about an animated GIF?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe that's possible. All right. Well, looks like we coordinated for getting ready for the holidays. We got their
Yeah,
festive
that's
colors,
right.
you in green and me in red.
Oh,
You see,
haha, that was totally that's funny.
I got my some more throwaway pillows. Oh, and
And you got the blanket, right?
their Kickstarter concluded, and they got their
Oh,
well, they had already gotten their
fantastic.
numbers, but yeah, yeah, the blanket's off camera, but yeah, the Mac OS smiley face pillow, and then the pinwheel works great in
It looks
the
fantastic
chair.
on that chair.
Yeah, and adds that little bit of purple that was missing in the chair. But
Oh, good
yeah, these are
morning to
really great.
all the peeps out there. Dave, we've got Trina, we've got Jeremy. Scroll, scroll, scroll.
Apple's
Apple's
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Michael, hello, Michael. Um, yeah, great. Derek, good morning, Derek.
Derek is up early.
Yeah, yeah. It's we've got some people that are up
Oh,
and it's almost midnight, and then we've got some people that are up and it's
just
what?
past
I think
midnight.
Derek, isn't it 5 in the morning for you?
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
All right. Let's get started. You ready?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go in three, two, one. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John. This is episode 595 for December 5th, 2021. Good morning, John.
Good morning, James.
Well, I see you've got your holiday Mac assortment assembled behind you.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
And
yep, yep.
you were telling the YouTube audience, but tell me,
No, so I've
That
got
day.
Holiday Lemmings running on one.
Uh-huh.
It's got some nice winter Christmas themed
I remember
lemming
Holiday
action going
Lemmings.
on.
It was like a short, wasn't it just a handful of
Yeah,
episodes? It was
just a,
like
just a few. Yeah, just a few levels. I think
but it
maybe
was a
four.
standalone. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
it did standalone, yeah. Of
Hmm.
course, they're all
And
in
then I've
snow
got
and they've
a
got their all, yeah.
right. Yeah, they got little Santa hats on and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that. And then I've got a little Christmas themed hypercard stack running on my Mac Plus. So
Did you
just
make
in
that
the
one?
mood. No, no, no. I
Oh,
found
I
that
found it somewhere.
so many years ago. I don't even
Hmm.
remember where I found it at this point.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah. So
Nice, nice. Well, great. Well, this is it. Finally, part 2 of that Latch Hook Rug segment that we did. I don't know, over a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe it's been
several months ago. Yeah.
the one that led to additional discoveries on my part. That there was, in fact, more to the story. There was even a wall hanging, which was not even the same thing. It was a different item altogether, and tracked down Myra Burg, the artist behind both of them. So she agreed to join me for interview. So we'll play that in a little bit. Got the other usual stuff, some eBay auctions and some news. What else? Is that it?
I think that's
All
it.
right. Okay. All right. Well, let's come right back with some eBay auctions. Christmas, it's
Are you?
summertime. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys celebrate Christmas in July or something? How does that all work? I don't understand. I don't understand time zones. Um, very strange. Where up is
Apples
down
and
and
oranges
down
at
is
one
up.
a.m. Yeah. Water spirals the wrong way down the sink.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right.
Little,
Ready to go?
little, they might be giants reference there.
Let's go in 3, 2. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I don't want to do that. Okay, let's go in 3, 2, 1. Time now for eBay auctions, eBay finds, as we call them. A couple of weeks ago, we had that book cover, the one that curiously had the 6-color Apple logo and the Mac Picasso logo, even though it was made around 1992, long after the Picasso logo had been used during the early classic Mac days. They wanted $30 for this, or I don't know what they wanted originally. Maybe it started lower than that, but they got a couple of bids and wound up selling for $30. Then the 2FX, Macintosh 2FX. Now, as I recall, it wasn't advertised. They didn't have any boot pictures,
Right.
did they?
Mm-hmm. I don't believe so.
Yeah. But it was in very good mechanical shape, very clean inside and out. What do you think this sold for?
Oh, I don't know. The 2FX is pretty darn popular.
Wickedly fast. Of course, some risk, not being able to turn it on.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think they got a good deal at $256.54 after 5 bids.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, nice. And then we had those
The
those Mylar
balloons. Yeah, those
balloons.
Mylar
Yes.
balloons. Sure.
The Mylar balloons had the Macintosh SE image on the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. They did sell for the high price of $1.82.
That is fantastic. Wow.
Right. And the shipping cost, at least to here from Roanoke, Virginia, was $11.85. Maybe the price would go down if you filled these up. I don't know.
Less weight. Yeah. Some
Yeah.
helium and, reduce the, yeah. Huge
Right.
package, though. It's just,
Does it work like that? Does it work like putting solar panels on your house where you can sell the electricity back? Could you actually get them to pay you to ship this? I don't know.
Sure,
I don't know how
right.
that
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
But
in Australia.
then there would be a tethering fee,
Yeah, they got to find a way to make their money. All right. We will move along to this week with this thing. Title says
Ooh.
Vintage Apple First Macintosh Motherboard Collectible. So I'll read the description here. This is a nicely framed Apple Macintosh motherboard that was one of the first ones made in Apple's Cork, Ireland factory in May of 1987. It appears to be in a mahogany box and is framed to hang on a wall or sit on a bookshelf. Has a brass plaque in it that has signatures of all the Irish employees who sent this as a thank you gift to the people in Fremont, California, who helped them set up their manufacturing line. This is an extremely rare item, as very few were made. Wow.
That is fantastic.
Look at that. So, do we get dimensions on this thing? Well, I mean, it's what is that? That's a classic Mac 87, so this is probably a Mac Plus.
What is it? 9.4 inches by something along those lines.
Right. So it's about double that in width because the plaque is large, the
Mhm.
size of the logic board itself. You can see the caption there. It says one of the first boards built in Apple Cork, presented to all the people in Fremont who helped us bring up our process. And then it's got all the signs. Look at that. There's a Jim Scully. I don't think that's no relation. It says May 1987 is the date.
Wait a second though.
What?
It's saying vintage Apple first Macintosh motherboard. Why does it have RAM slots? This is not
because it's a plus, right?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but
wait a
the
minute.
description.
What is this?
No.
What board is this? And it has.
Yeah.
This is interesting. And it has Apple Computer was written in Modern Tectura on.
Isn't
Mac
this an
boards?
is this
An
a
SE?
SE? Maybe?
SE, maybe. Yeah.
All I know is it's
Probably.
not a first.
Well, no,
Macintosh
because it's
motherboard.
87. They didn't start making them until later there, right? This is years after the original.
Got it.
Mac.
Okay. So maybe first in Cork, Ireland.
Yes.
All right.
The first, probably one of the first that they made there, right? And I like how it kind of evokes the signatures in the inside of the case. I don't
Mimic
know,
the
something about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of cool, but yeah, that's a nice collectible. So what do
really
they want
is.
for that? Ooh, starting bid $9,000.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, there is a make an offer, although can't imagine they're going to accept anything close to what you and I would be willing to pay for this.
So yeah, we have confirmation in the chat that this is an SE logic board.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Thanks, Charles.
And let's see, ships from Palo Alto, California. This auction ends in just 5 days. Okay, moving on.
Moving.
You see why I selected this one, John? This is one that it was very clever, and the first I had seen of somebody putting an auction together, an eBay listing, in their presentation. And I mean, it's all about selling.
Sure. Right.
And so, anyway, go ahead and.
Okay, so what we have here is a Macintosh M0001 1984 vintage computer, made in California. It's got a nice description of the whole computer. It comes with original mouse, keyboard, and power cord. It comes with a bunch of 3.5-inch floppies with different programs, all in the original maroon-colored carrying case. The computer fires up and boots fine. It may need some fine-tuning in order to operate, though. Maybe some capacitor replacement, which is standard on a computer of this age. So, and then mentions, of course, that the inside of the case is designed by all the originals. Great collectible computer. Ask questions. I will do my best to answer. So, all right. So what you were talking about, James, is how cool the pictures are. What the first picture you see almost looks like it was like from a brochure or some sort of advertising back in the day, which is what I thought this was going to be at first.
Right.
But then no. They just have this really cool background, and there's a picture of a lady using the computer in front of this big kind of weird space background.
It's very vintage looking.
Second picture looks like it's a cutout, and it's the background is from an Apple store. It looks like, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And the third one, we've got it just kind of floating in space, and the fourth one shows that it comes with a carrying bag, not the original
Yeah.
beige carrying bag. Yeah, this is one of the aftermarket ones, which were great if you had like an SE or the later Mac Plus because it has the taller case
Hmm.
for the bigger keyboard. But yeah, this one's just your standard 128K
Yeah.
Mac. Looks
I
great.
thought, but I love what they did with the presentation of this,
Yeah,
including
yeah.
almost making their own brochure for it and
Right. Yeah, yeah. Again, that's what I thought this was going to
using a
be.
pixelated font for the
Mm-hmm.
title there.
Yes, right.
Uh,
The lady's wearing a sweater that's not too dissimilar than from the beige of the Mac itself.
right. She looks like she's like a teacher from the
Right from the
era
time.
that's
Right, right.
demonstrating the computer. It's so funny. So bravo
Fantastic. Yeah. All right.
to
So the starting
Skidmore.
bid on this is $500, which to me is a little pricey for just the computer. You would think $500. You'd expect some of the original boxing that came with it, maybe the
You
plastic
think so? Well,
accessory
you're being
box or
harsh
something
on
like
this
that.
one.
Well, $500. I don't know. And
It's
it's
an
also free.
original Mac. It's an original working Mac, John. Need I remind you?
Well, yeah,
Clean
but I
and
don't know.
working.
500 still seems. I don't know.
No,
Um,
that's well, that's they usually go for a little more than that now.
do they? Okay.
I think.
All right.
Oh
It's
yeah,
been a
yeah,
long time since I've priced the
yeah. I guess so.
original.
Well, if you have original boxing, you're talking close to 1,000.
Okay. All right. So this is coming out of Seattle, Washington. So for us for shipping all the way to Florida from Washington would be $125. So or it's free local pickup. So if you're in the Seattle area and you've got $500 in your pocket, now's your chance.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the last one. All right. Well, this looks like something that would have come with that other one, right? It's just a
Right.
picture of
Right.
a
Yeah.
original system disk. Somebody had penciled in 1.0, so it's original Macintosh system disk with the Picasso logo. And this one is interesting. This one got
Oh,
John and I
oh,
talking
this is
about it.
one of those, yeah, that we ran across
Yes.
last week. Yeah.
Yeah. The price that they want on this is $1,500. Now, why would they want $1,500 for this? We're not really sure. But the seller
This
has
seller,
a number,
right?
has a number of
Of
these discs, including like Macintosh Pascal for $500 and Mac Write Mac Paint for $1,500. Through the Looking Glass, that game we talked about, I think a couple weeks ago, $2,000. And this one, each time he lists or he or she lists one, it says disc of the day, and it says as we continue to list some of the discs in the Macintosh Collector's Guide, please feel free to download the pics. The pics in the guide should make for a pretty useful reference tool. And this says this is version 1. It says this particular example is listed for $1,500, definitely an inflated price. However, if you do see another one on eBay, try to scoop it up. Be prepared to pay a premium, especially if it's a good working order. Look for another hard-to-find disc tomorrow. So,
and then he's got the charts, or
yeah.
Gary, yeah, he's got the charts.
Oh, is it Gary? Gary W.
Gary W. Yeah.
Right. And so Gary's got this great
Reference.
table
Yeah, reference table.
of all these discs.
The part number,
just,
the Macintosh software name,
number,
the version number, creation date, format, system file, finder, and notes on it. Yeah, it's what have you got here? Maybe about 9 different images.
Yeah. A pretty good accounting of a lot of the first software disks that came out for Macintosh. There's the HD20 startup disk, and he appears to have a lot of these, and they're all listed there, but at these ridiculously high prices, which he acknowledges.
Yeah.
So I guess they're just out there in case somebody really wants to buy these from him. They're going to pay up, and he's going to make a nice money, but he's not expecting anybody to.
Mm-hmm. Basically, he's hey, be on the lookout for these. If you run across one of these, it's probably worth picking up.
Yeah,
very interesting. I like it. I like it. This is kind of cool.
It's almost like half, actually not even half, maybe 10% auction, 90% educational and a catalog, but using eBay to do it. So thought we'd call it out. Don't recommend paying these prices. But I guess if you can't find it anywhere else and you've got to have it, then go for it. Okay. Boy, Jeremy said he sold his original Mac for 60 pounds. That gave somebody quite a deal, especially if it was working. My goodness. How long ago was that? All right. We're going to move along now. Let's see. John and I are going to sit back. I'm just going to play this video. You ready, John? You ready to sit back?
Yeah, let's do it. I've not seen this yet, so.
I guess I haven't either. I lived it. All right. Here we go. Now, but at least we got time to monitor chat and throw up comments if people have got some interesting things to say. All right, here we go. Let's, I guess I got to hit record. Why don't we do that? All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right, well, this is part 2 of a segment that, and I didn't even know there was going to be a part 2 until I got into it, but we got started talking about the Latch Hook Rug Kit that was found in this catalog, right? This is the 1983 Apple gift catalog, and when Steve Jobs retired the 6-color Apple logo, when he returned, I went on a quest to start collecting all the items that were made with the 6-color Apple, especially the officially endorsed items from catalogs like this. And that led me to the Latch Hook Rug Kit, and which you see one here beside me. But the more and more I studied about this and dug into the catalog, I guess I sort of missed that there was this wall hanging, which I think at first glance, it just kind of looks like it was a pre-assembled Latch Hook Rug Kit, but that's not the case at all. It's in fact a unique item. And when you read the description, it references the designer Myra Burg. So I thought, well, what is Myra doing today? And what can she tell me about the rug or the wall hanging or any of that? What's the story? So we tracked her down, and fortunately through the power of the internet, that was possible. So we're going to bring her into the stream. There she is. Hello, Myra.
Hello, James.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. This took a little doing because you're so busy. And I guess I had a few things too that got in the way, but glad to finally connect with you.
It's and I'll take all of that on my head. That was my apology. I try to make myself a whole lot more available than that.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. We talked briefly, I don't know, it was about a month ago, and you gave me some of the stories behind this. And so I wanted to go back and share with the audience the genesis of these items in the catalog. So we'll do that, and then I also want to hear, what you're doing now. So,
Sure.
So let's start off. I'm going to put this picture back up here so we can both look at it. And I don't know what the order is. I don't know. Did tell me where did this all begin? Did it begin with this, or did it begin with this? I think it began with this, as I recall.
It did.
Yeah,
it did. Years and years ago, when the Apple computer was an idea in Steve Wozniak's eye, he, who had been friends with my brother from his years at Hewlett-Packard, said, "Hey, Andrew, you got to see this thing that we built." And they developed a connection and had a whole lot of fun together. And then my brother said to me, "Hey, why don't you make a gift of an Apple rug to Steve Wozniak?" And I said, "Hey, that's a great idea." And Steve Wozniak liked my artwork, so I actually did a piece for him called 9 Lives, which was 9 tigers, photorealistic, 4 by 6 foot piece. And I made this. It's a 3-foot square, and gave it to Steve Wozniak. And Steve Jobs liked it, and he wanted one. So I made one for him, and we were up in Cupertino and delivered it. And Steve Jobs padded out of his office and he said, "Hey, I have an idea. Let's do a bunch of these. Let's do 25 of these in the Apple catalog, and let's do 100 rug kits." And at the time I was in college and I had, how much time you don't have in college. And I went, "Sure, I'll take care of it." And and I went down and I drew out the logo on the background and hand latched that sort of partly done one, which was the photo in the catalog.
Okay.
And all 25 of the carved rugs, the tufted rugs, I made. And I was ditching classes.
There's a picture of it.
That's yours truly. Yeah.
So I take it that was right after you'd finished the 25th one and you laid them all out.
It is.
It almost looks like they're all connected together, but those are all separate pieces, just lined up.
All separate pieces, and we went out on the football field on a nice dry day and laid them out. And I thought, maybe I should do this for posterity. I still have those shoes.
Oh, there you can see the individual hangings. Yes. So how do these then differ, like in their construction from the latch hook rugs? Because there's more of a 3D kind of feel to these.
And they are 3D. So the shadow that you see, for example, on the leaf is quite real, because it was wintertime when I did that. I only remember that because I remember whose class I was in at the time. These are hand tufted rugs, so they're on a backing, and there's backing, and they're, I don't know if you can see this very well, but they're looped through, all the way through, and then once the rug's complete, you flip it over face down, and it's coated with latex, which is the consistency of sour cream or yogurt. Right. And the latex it rubberizes the back, or latexes it. And it's a very neat, clean finish. And then when the latex sets, you flip the carpet over, and then I use a sheep shearer, a rug shearer, and everything is shorn. And there's really a pronounced V between the 6-color and the cream background. Right. So that's why you can see in the leaf, it's the same construction system that Edward Fields, if anyone remembers that custom carpet company, used. So they're very dimensional carpets. I have to think about it. Probably 1.5 inches thick at the thickest point. Wow. And they're all acrylic, so they probably still about as bright as they were. Yeah. So in the end, there were 25, and then plus the 2 you had already made. That's right.
For the founders, right?
That's right.
And so then these got put in that catalog. I'll go back there. And what's interesting is that there's no mention of kind of the limited nature of these.
It's and I think if they all sold on the first morning of the first day, and they said, "Hey, we need 200 more," I'd have been all over it. So it would have been just fine with me.
Did you get any feedback on how quickly they sold or anything like that?
Actually, I didn't, because with all the classes that I ditched to make these things, it was the one and only B I ever got in a design lab, in an architecture design lab, mostly for not being there. But it didn't even occur to me to say, "Hey, how are they going? What do we need to do? Do we need 4x4s? Do we need 10 foot by 10? What do we need?" The business of the rugs never occurred to me to keep going, because I think it was the same summer that I did a 10 by 25 foot tapestry for the county of San Luis Obispo, and it still hangs in the government center. And then, of course, the Latch Hook Rug Kits, there was no time for me to mess with that. So,
I'm sorry. Yeah. So I want to hear how that came about.
Well, it was in the same conversation. Steve Jobs said, let's produce 25 Latch Hook Rug Kits. So I thought, all right, I got to make a model. And those are simpler backings. Just, you can see it's a mesh backing in there. Right. They don't become latex coated. It's sort of the toned down model. It's the Volkswagen to the Rolls Royce, but and I called the company and I sent them the pattern, the company that produces patterns and
You mean,
Latch Hook.
you mean this thing right here?
That, yes, that right there. Wow. That right there. I sent it to them and said, this is what I need. And I figured out exactly how many little containers of which color. And
hmm
basically in 4 days' time, put the whole thing together over the phone. And boom, I was in business. Oh my God, you
Yeah.
have an actual Latch Hook Rug
Well,
Kit.
yeah, of course. I
That's
found
very cool.
one, unmade one. So all the
Wow.
ingredients are here. But yes.
So what was printed on the outside of the box? I never did see
Uh,
that.
well, this must be the original box, but I don't know. I think it was just a shipping label. I don't see any other kind of markings. I think it was just shipped in a box.
Wow.
This should be. I mean, right now it's just got the label when it was sent to me. But yeah, it was kind of nondescript. Just the ingredients inside. Everything is here.
Amazing. If I did it today, I definitely would have had a 4-color process. I would have had a sticker on the outside, and call us if you have questions.
So there's a few holes in here because I think some
Wow.
critters got into this thing. But looks like that was hammered out on a typewriter.
It's foolishly, I don't have a pair of glasses right up here. From then to now, I've graduated to reading glasses. Without them, it's a little tougher.
But so wait, so you said they were only 25 of these too?
100.
Oh, 100. 100. Okay.
100.
All right. Dad.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a little. You can see a little bit better there.
Like...
Yeah, the color code just says the color code, and
somebody was kind enough to type that out for me.
Right. And the little and then there's some general instructions on there and how to do the whole thing. So 100 of these, interesting. And so you didn't keep any for yourself or anything like that. You didn't make one for yourself.
I didn't. If we traveled to my studio, which is just a different part of my property, you'd see I don't have room in my studio for another Q-tip. So art goes, it's out the door, away it goes.
Well, given that there are only 100 of these, it does make sense that they are also hard to find. I happen to own three ones that were made, and then the one in the box. So I have 4 of the 100 right here, and I guess I should count myself lucky that I was able to scavenge at least that many. Well, that's cool. You never know how these things came to be, and the limited numbers. I mean, it just makes it that much more special.
Once upon a time,
yes.
Somebody sent me an article. This is maybe 2 or 3 years ago. There was a fellow who had one of the tapestries, one of the hand tufted ones that I made. And he was a James Gandolfino look-alike. Have you stumbled on that article?
I did see that article. Yes. And so he was proud to have one of them. So those, obviously, they're only 25. Well, 27, I guess. They are almost impossible to find. I can't recall even ever seeing one pop up for sale, like on eBay or something like that. So yeah, I'm still on the lookout though, for sure. I'm not sure I could afford what somebody might think it's worth at this point, but those are certainly, I think, a really cool collectible for Apple collectors and enthusiasts like myself. Well, I take it that was the end of your contracted Apple work, right?
It was. It was. I mean, they got mighty busy at the time, and
sure.
Steve Wozniak's dog had puppies on the 9 Lives carpet. So, and then of course I graduated from college, and before graduating, my thesis project was about a 12 by 20 foot sculptural piece for the Kennedy Library. And then I went in a totally different art direction. So I do pieces now called the Quiet Oboes. And
yes, let's see. I'll flash that up on the screen because Here we go. Right there's your website,
Perfect.
myraburg.com.
Exactly.
And so, yes, tell us what you've got here.
So I went from tufting the rugs because I realized there's no way I can compete with Edward Fields. Beautiful designs, beautiful manufacturing. And I started wrapping jute fiber. So, little hanks of jute fiber, and then loop it. And they became tapestry like because you had several hanks of the fiber wrapped together. And it wasn't big enough for my taste. I mean, I did start in high school as a jeweler. It needed to get bigger and bigger. So I thought, I can't do this. What am I going to do? I'm going to wrap nautical rope, and it went hollow. So I thought, hollow forms. And a friend of mine helped me with some marketing, and I wanted to do something for him as a gift. I didn't even have 2 dimes. I think I had a photograph of a dime at the time. And he said, well, Myra, you don't have to do anything for me. And I said, no, I really want to do something for me for you. And he said, if you're so good as an artist, wrap a single stick, just wrap one element. And I thought, oh God, what's he talking about? And I thought about it and realized that I have a didgeridoo. It's been in my family since 1968, brought here by a genuine Australian.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the real one, not the kind you get in the gift store.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, look at that. That's effectively a decorated stick.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrapped a piece of pipe about the same length as the didgeridoo. And I liked it. It paired nicely with the real didgeridoo, and it was attractive. And I thought, okay, I'll stand it in my corner. And a week or so later, I had an art tour of people come through my house. And the first woman who walked through the door, Susan Apple, pointed to it, and she said, that, I love that. I want that. I have to have that.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, how much? And I went, $240. And then I was suddenly $239 wealthier. So I thought, well, maybe there's something to this. So I started making them and went down to an interior design house on Main Street, Santa Monica, and under the guise of looking for a pot to photograph them in.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner of the store said, where'd you get those? I have to have those. And that started it. Wow. And one of her designers is still working with me. He sold lots of Quiet Oboes. He helped me with this interior, which is, we're still shoving things around a fair bit. And it burgeoned. It just kept going. So I've produced, I don't know, I guesstimate 15,000 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Bill Clinton has one. Warren Buffett is a client.
Oh, wow. I can't help but think that there's almost a subtle connection to the 6 colors of the Apple logo, right? The idea of the stripes and the contrasting bright colors. It's something I guess you could extend the rainbow to anything, but it does seem like what
the influence that I'm sorry, you go ahead.
No, go ahead. Is there an influence?
There is. And it hit me when I was about 3.5 or 4 years old. We came to California from New York, and we always flew TWA. And in the TWA terminal in LAX, there's a 300-foot long corridor. It's still there, even though TWA is not. And it's a series of tile stripes. And it flows. It's a flowing spectrum. It's not a proper RGB rainbow. It goes into the secondary and the tertiary colors. And I was taken with that 300-foot corridor in those little square Brazilian tiles, 3/4-inch tile. And the stripes are not just plain stripes. They have, some of them are sort of L-shaped, and they connect with each other. I was just in awe. And ever since then, even my brother calls me the Rainbow Kid. I had to organize
the Rainbow
all of
Kid,
the pens in the spectral order, or the best approximation. I've just been fast. I used to look at my mother's diamond, her ring, her wedding ring, and I used to hold it up to my eye so I could see the pure colors of the spectrum. I've just been fascinated with it always.
Yeah.
And then, of course, architecture school hones your taste to a perfect unaffordable level. But if you look closely at larger installations, you'll see there's a little bit of pixelating, and I'm playing with color a little bit. And sometimes I put something that's out of the original intensity of the RGB in there. So I think I'd like to think they've become more sophisticated over the years.
Right.
And I still love what I do. And the only thing I like more than making them is placing them on people's walls.
Well, I don't see one behind you. There must be something must be hanging in your...
Actually, if they migrate into the house,
Yes.
I'm in trouble. They just end up all over the place. And
Oh,
it's
I
pretty
see.
easy for me to just trot out to the studio or trot out with you, and you'll see lots of them there.
Sure.
But the website, better photos on the website.
Yeah, so let's just mention that again. MyraBurg.com, Quiet Oboes, breathtaking art for your soul. And there you'll find all of the variations and the wonderful colors. So go on out there and take a look at what she has to offer. And I thank you very much for joining me. I loved hearing the story about how this came to be. Pretty interesting, and I'm so happy I got to talk to you.
Well, thank you. Pleasure's absolutely mine. Call anytime. We're friendly.
All right.
James, that was an awesome interview. What a charming lady.
Yes, she was wonderful. Such a delight. Such a great story. You could tell, I think she was as excited as I was, getting to talk about something she probably thought she'd never.
Oh, well, when you brought up your your kit that hadn't been put together, she was, I think that was
Right.
quite surprising to her. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. All right. Well, yeah, thanks again to Myra. That was a blast and such a wonderful way to sort of put all the stuff I've collected in context, to bring it back to the original artist. Wow.
And
Yeah.
just the fact that you own 4% of the world's supply of Latch Hook.
I'm cornering the market. All right. Let's see. Yeah, the sculpted rugs. Got to get one of those 27. And I don't know. We didn't talk about it in the interview. I wasn't listening to it because it hurts me, to listen to myself, because all I listen to is all the stuttering and the
No, dude, that was really well done. You did fantastic.
Well, thank you. But I didn't listen to it nonetheless. So I don't remember. We didn't talk about it. One of those, the one that went to Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about this maybe months and months ago, but there was a picture that floated around the internet that showed that I think it was a house that he had owned or rented or something, and one of those rugs was used as a bathroom rug or something. It was completely stained, and it was one of those sculpted ones, and it was just
oh my gosh,
destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, there may not be the 27th, or I guess in Jobs' case it would be rug 000. That one probably, well, you'd probably want it because it was Jobs' greasy feet. He didn't wear shoes, right?
No, he didn't wear shoes. We know how he cleaned his feet.
Right.
You know that story, right?
And probably after he sort of got exiled from Apple, he probably took quite joy in cleaning his feet on that logo. I don't know. All right, let's see. All right, we're going to switch gears to some news. So let me pull that up. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, this was making the rounds in the news the last couple of weeks. This idea of the first Apple Watch. Some of the news sources were news sites were talking about it. The so-called WristMac that was sold by Seiko in the early 90s, I think like 91, was put up for auction. And here's the actual auction site at comicconnect.com. It says wristwatch, or WristMac, I should say. It says 1980 is when it came out. Legendary first Apple Watch memorabilia. Complete in box, original unopened box, registration card, reference manual, software, floppy disk. Extremely rare Seiko / Ex Machina WristMac. First Apple Watch, released in 1988, over 25 years before the Apple Watch, one of the first pieces of wearable computer technology. Yeah. Now, to call it the first Apple Watch is, of course, silly. I'm even surprised, and I have to dig deeper in the history of this, and maybe we could just cover it in an episode in more depth, that they even got away with calling it a WristMac. Apple was kind of looked the other way when people were naming their products, Mac something, right? Everybody had a Mac something product, and they kind of let them have it. So WristMac, I mean, that's a little more bold. So I don't think Apple had any involvement in this. I'm pretty sure they didn't. But it allowed you connected this watch to your Mac, and you could exchange data either way.
Yeah, I'm looking at the watch
function.
Yeah, I'm looking at the watch features. It says includes cable connected to a Mac Plus, SE, or Mac 2. Phone memo shows 12-character name plus phone number. Import from Apple address file, focal point 2, or text files. Freeform text displays whatever you enter, up to 12 different headings, up to 79 screen pages per heading. Let's see. But yeah, there's not really a whole lot. Import, here's another one where import from focal point 2, capture data directly from directory, data book, to-do list, notes, vendors, clients, and projects. Import from Apple II's hardware card stacks, capture data directly from address and calendar. Import for city to city, business, class, and more. Interesting.
Now what gave this some notoriety back then was that a WristMac was taken on a space shuttle flight where it was paired with a Mac Portable and used to send email from space.
Huh.
Now, it wasn't this one, obviously. This one did not go into space. Maybe if it did, it might have a little more value. The news report suggested that this might get up to $100,000 at auction. And of course, I don't think it's going to get anywhere near that. So we're looking at the live auction right now. It ends, let's see, in 2 weeks.
13 days, yeah.
And the current bid, after 39 bids, it's up to $4,444, which still seems insane to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of these were made.
Uh-huh.
They are rare. Do we know? I tried to find the original selling price. Somebody can maybe look that up. I bet they were pricey. I bet you they were in the then dollars, probably thousands of dollars.
I'm betting after this we see several show up on eBay with exorbitant prices of people hoping to cash in on the watch that they've had sitting in a drawer for.
Yeah. But anyway, kind of a cool thing.
Kind of cool.
We'll go into more depth about this. Feel free to put in a bid right now. Anybody? All right. Over on Vintage Apple Reddit, user Final October uploaded this image. It says, I made this several years ago when I was working for Free Geek. Figure you guys might find it useful for troubleshooting. It's like this cool little let's see if I can zoom in here on this thing. This cool little flow chart here called the Compact Mac Triage. And it's got a Picasso Mac logo here. So you start off at the top, and then first question you ask yourself is, does the machine chime on boot? And then you follow it up and say, well, if it does, then does it boot to the OS or show the question mark icon? And so forth. So there's all these different steps, and it leads you to checking things for like a bad floppy drive or bad capacitors, bad SCSI, bad analog board. But at the bottom, you wind up with three decisions. You either prep for online sales, note the issues, set aside for repair, or scrap the machine. And then it's got the applicable models, a little color guide there, including an example of yellowing. But kind of a cool little thing. And actually,
It is really
very
is,
useful, right? Because we all sort of do this in our head. We had enough experience, you know, to sort of follow this path. But this gives us some structure, and it's great for people that are getting into, just don't have the experience where this is sort of baked in.
Right. Yeah. No, it would be nice to, because obviously this was for triage, but it would be nice to expand it past the is it a valuable Mac and actually go into, well, if it's a bad floppy, what are some of the floppy issues? It would be it'd be nice to have this kind of an expanded version. Mm-hmm.
Sure. You know what would be even better than that? Is an expanded version that were interactive in a hypercard stack.
Ooh.
With pictures and stuff like that. But yeah, or some way of so you could go online and have this thing up, right, and just kind of walk you through. That could be. Imagine if this was like open source and just so many people could add to, right, and became a very comprehensive how-to. There's all kinds of directions you can go, but I mean, because
that might be something that would be cool to do it as a webpage over at Tinker Different.
Do it as a web page, make it look like a hypercard stack.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
These are cool ideas. I like this.
Yeah. And I come up with the ideas. I don't have any energy to.
You're the idea. You're the idea man. You're the idea man.
That's right. Okay. Somebody go do that, and I'll evaluate it for you. Okay. And this still over on the Vintage Mac on Reddit. Harmeleon reposted this. It turns out this was posted several years back on Twitter by iJustine.
Oh, that's so funny.
Know iJustine.
Didn't we
YouTube
briefly run into her at a Macworld? I think you pointed her out.
Yes, that was you that was with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, but then there wasn't anything to it. But I guess if you were there, then there's a little more to it. Yeah, we were at Macworld. You can probably remember the year. But we were outside the Apple Store in San Francisco, and she was there, standing outside the Apple Store, just kind of. I think she was on her phone or something, and I pointed her out. Did you even know who she was?
I did not.
Oh, no. She didn't quite have the fame. Of course, she became famous, right? Because she did she got that 500-page AT&T iPhone bill or something. That was the thing that kind of propelled her, at least originally, on Twitter. But anyway, what was reposted was something that shows that she has more geek street cred than all of us combined, because I never thought to do this when I was in high school. And that is pose in my senior yearbook photo with my Macintosh. But of course I didn't have a Mac. I graduated before this. So it would have been my Apple IIe.
Right. Same here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it would have made sense for me to pose my Apple IIe because it shares the credit with me of getting through high school. And
and I'm so sad I do not have any photos of my Apple IIe setup when I was in high school. I really wish I had something. So but so her having this as her senior picture is just
She's posing with a sawtooth G4 with a. Is that the CRT?
That's the CRT. You can see look at the legs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which means that she not only hauled the G4 in, but that monitor, which was pretty heavy. I mean, CRT monitors and a very clumsy shape for moving. I have to say, with the rounded bottom and stuff like that. It was
not quite the ease of the tower itself with the handles.
Yeah, exactly.
On all four corners. But I thought that was great. I missed it when she posted that years ago. I thought, oh my gosh, I needed to show that. So anyway, I guess if there's anybody out there that They should borrow that idea. I don't know. What would you do today? Just take a photo with your iPhone or something. But it's a great historical, right? It dates everything, not just you, but the
Mm-hmm.
era.
Mm-hmm.
So great idea. All right. Yes. Oh, and welcome. A few more people joined us late.
Oh yeah.
Warm-
Oh, we got
I don't know if they
Steve
came with
from Mac
apologies.
84. Steve, I see Adam. Hello,
Hey, everybody.
morning, guys.
All right. Well, shall we close out the episode?
I think we are ready.
Okay. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Our thanks to Myra Burg. Make sure you go to myraburg.com if you want to check out her current projects. Sorry, no sculpted apple rugs there. Not yet, anyway. Maybe if you just hit her with emails requesting it, maybe she'll reconsider. Next week, we are going to be joined by Dave from Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. He's got a YouTube channel out there, and just yet another person that we've seen their work, we've mentioned their work, but haven't got a chance to get to know them. So we'll talk to Dave, find out all about the channel, learn about his background, and I think, let's see, going forward, the rest of December, then 1 week after that, we'll do a little year-end
We'll do our holiday
gift
guide. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe look back at. Do we look back in December? Do we look back in January? I don't know. We look forward. I remember. We'll do something. we should recap the year somehow. So we'll figure out how to do that.
Yeah. Well, and
then
again, talking about recaps, we also have, again, sometime in January, I believe it's still going to happen, our 600th episode will be coming up. So.
Wow. 600. What do you have planned for that?
I have no idea, but
Oh.
we should plan something. I mean, 600 episodes.
600. That would be a good time to do a
recap,
a retrospective of some sort, or some epic guest. I thought, I wonder if Justine would indulge us in this.
Well, I mean, we could. You know who else might be kind of fun would be Nitro, Zach, and Snaggy, something like that. Something like that.
We talked about doing that picture,
right?
Having our images, our likenesses done in their style. Still could do that to commemorate our 600th episode. Well, lots of good things to talk about. Mac 84 Steve says, for the 600th episode, I'll recap a Mac live. Haha.
Nice.
I hope you mean one of ours. How about my Macintosh TV that needs some love?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we will be back next week with Dave of Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. And until next week, remember, it's not old.
It's retro.
Huh. All right.
All right.
Adam McGee says, recap one of his...
2Xs.
One of his 2Xs. How many 2Xs do you have?
Michael, yes. Episode 600. Mac recap. Actually recap a Mac. Yes.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.